It's with great sadness that we announce the death of Peter Tait, a presenter on Radio Aire for many years before we moved to our sister station, Magic 828. He'd been suffering from a brain tumour for several months and died on Friday night at the age of 52. Simon Logan, who worked alongside him for 3 years, says he'll be sorely missed.
I think Peter will be somebody that no one will forget. Anyone that ever met Peter, maybe at one of his live nights, which he loved doing, and meeting his listeners, he'd never ever not want to talk to you. He loved people, and you know, people loved him as well.
Peter showed tremendous courage throughout his illness.
Peter Levy
just said, "Oh, little things sent to try us, little things sent to try us," you know, usual dismissive of comments. And I just thought, this guy is so brave. And so, you know, when he had just been telling me, you know, he'd had this thing taken away the size of a tennis ball or whatever. And I remember putting the phone down, you know, thinking, oh my God, you know. And it knocked me for six, and has done. Mainly because he was so larger than life, and I'd always known him, and he'd always been the same.
One of his closest friends, Dale Winton, says he was incredibly talented.
He could have had a television career if he'd wanted to, but you know, he just didn't want that. He just loved playing music, gigging, doing radio shows. Spice up the radio show with the odd comment which would have you roaring with laughter, because he was quite unique, Peter, quite unique, and I learned so much from him.
And on our sister station, Magic 828, where Peter was the breakfast presenter for 8 years, we'll be running tributes throughout the day.
On Tuesday the 28th of October at the Rooftop Gardens, Wakefield, Radio Aire, in association with Gold Label Lager, are pleased to announce the Solid Gold 60s and Motown Night. I'm Peter Tait, and along with Ray Stroud, we'll be playing your favourite dance music, as well as introducing live on stage with his brand new band, the one and only Jimmy Ruffin. Tickets at £3 are available now from Radio Aire Reception, the Rooftop Gardens, Westgate, Wakefield, or by post to PO Box 362 Leeds LS3 1LR. Checks made payable to Radio Aire.
Carl Kingston.
Jimmy Ruffin, now What Becomes of the Broken-Hearted. There's a song that starts with the Manhattans as well, which says, "This has got to be the saddest day of my life," and that more or less sums up the way that I feel this morning. Sad news, we've just released that Peter Tait is no longer with us. Peter passed away late on Friday evening. Today we take a look at Peter's life, and we'll be playing a lot of music that was very, very special to Peter. Someone who certainly enriched our lives, colleagues and friends here at Magic 828, and also our sister station Radio Aire, having worked with Peter for nearly 20 years. Peter was someone who enriched our lives with great laughter, always a gag a minute. He'll be missed desperately. In this business, you make acquaintances and you make friends, and Peter was a true friend.
Good afternoon, this is Magic 828. We serve West Yorkshire on 828 kHz medium wave, the all-time great music station. Magic 828.
Paul Stead.
He was part of this radio station since the day it began. Before that, he was on our sister station, Radio Aire, from about 1983 to 1990. He was a radio presenter, a club DJ, a quizmaster, a brother, a son, an uncle, and a loving partner. But to me, he was one of the best friends that anyone could ever have. He was funny, he was loyal, he was compassionate, witty, charming, and extremely intelligent. Since February this year, he's battled an illness that he bore, I have to say, with great dignity and courage. But on Friday night at 11:35, his body finally gave up that fight. And I'm delighted to say that he's now at peace, because he wouldn't have wanted to carry on the way that he was. Today, Magic 828 mourns his passing, but more than anything, with your help, we celebrate his life, because that's what Peter was all about. He loved life, and life loved him. And today, help us, together with the help of his family, his friends and his colleagues, we give thanks for his life by remembering what he gave to this radio station and to radio in general over the years. Make no mistake, Magic 828 was Peter's passion. It was his true love. And today, Peter, we give that love back to you with eternal gratitude. We've got an old friend, with the emphasis on the old, and the friend, I suppose, on the phone, and it's Ray Stroud. Hi, Ray.
Morning, Paul.
Mixed feelings, Ray.
Yeah, a little bit, isn't it? I mean, it's just so sad, isn't it, really? I like the old bit there, by the way. That was nice.
He would have said that, though,
yes,
wouldn't he?
Yes, he would, wouldn't he? Absolutely, really would. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you turn the clocks back and you look back to the early days when Radio Aire the early days of Radio Aire, then of course Magic 828 after that. I mean, I remember actually in those early days that I actually remember when Peter joined, and he came on the scene, and I think everybody always respected him and always thought about this guy with a great voice, because he did, didn't he? He had a superb radio voice.
It was a great radio voice.
It was a voice that we all thought, oh, cool, I wish I could speak like that,
I still do.
Absolutely.
What would you always remember about Petey? Because we called him Petey. What would you remember about him?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, in those early days of Magic 828, when we went on board, I mean, we went out. I mean, you were one of them, where we went out into Wakefield and Leeds and right across the area, and we did all these gigs, places like Rooftop Gardens, Casanovas. There's names in the past. And he absolutely loved it. I mean, there was always a bit of a competition going on between him and me as well. Yeah. Because I used to say to him, how many gigs have you got this week? Oh, I've got 2. Well, I've got 3. And it was always a bit of a thing, to be honest.
Well, your famous competition you used to run. What have you got in your hand?
What have I got in my hand?
That Ray Stroud. What's he got in his hand? Another blooming gig, he said.
Another gig. That's right.
It's 26 minutes past 2 on probably one of the days that I never really wanted to experience in my broadcasting life. But then, if it wasn't for Peter Tait, I wouldn't have a broadcasting life, really. As I mentioned earlier on today, it was basically through Peter Tait and Dale Winton that they got me into this lark in the first place. And I've never really regretted a single day of it. It's been absolute magic from word go. And from knowing Peter as a friend, and actually looking up to him as a radio presenter many years ago, back home, thinking, gosh, I'd love to do what you do for a living, working with him for 14 years, as basically it's been a dream come true and absolutely wonderful. And as we've been saying all day, the show must go on with Peter. Not only a huge fan of all the pop songs that he played here on the radio, but he was also a huge fan of musicals as well. And I know that one of his all-time favourite musicals was Martin Gear. And this is Tell Me to Go.
Look, tell me to go. This can't go on. I should be gone. Tell me to go. Please tell me to leave. This is all wrong. I don't belong. Tell me to go.
Leeds Parish Church opened its doors today for a very special occasion, the funeral of West Yorkshire radio legend Peter Tait. It turned out to be more of a celebration of a man who touched the lives of friends, colleagues, family, and of course, the listeners.
It made your day, like, you know what I mean? It seemed to make that pot of tea on the morning bubble, like, you know what I mean?
It was very good when my daughter was poorly in hospital. Just a remarkable man.
Among the mourners, fellow Magic 828 presenters and former colleagues Peter Levy, Krista Ackroyd, James Whale and Clive Settle.
Vicious sense of humour. It really was absolutely tremendous stuff. And also, when you get there early in the morning and you meet a bloke who can somehow manage to be just so cheerful, like 4 a.m, I mean, it's just incredible. So we'll miss Peter immensely.
The Reverend Canon Graham Smith, rector of Leeds, took what was essentially a traditional service. He hoped Peter would have been proud, especially of the final gesture.
There was a lovely moment right at the end as we came out into the sunshine when several dozen blue balloons with Peter's name on each balloon were cut loose and went floating up into the sky, and everybody stood and craned up into the sky to see this lovely sight, and I've never seen that done before at a funeral.
It was a fitting tribute for a life lived to the full and cut cruelly short by a brain tumour. And as Peter's nearest and dearest went to pay their final, more personal tribute to him, old friends outside the church certainly took away their own special memories.
It was very nice. Yeah, the little poem that Paul Stead read was so touching, and he said it wouldn't sum him up in 2 minutes, but it was pretty accurate, and it was very good.
It was a very fitting service for him, a true celebration, which is perfect for Petey. What a wonderful man.
Peter Tait was born on the 15th of March 1950. He died on the 20th of September 2002, aged just 52. but for all of us who knew him in that time, he'll not be forgotten.
Good morning, it's Trent from Nottingham with Peter Tait at 30 minutes away from 7 o'clock.
It's Caroline with Peter Clark. I trust you're fit and well.
Radio Aire with Peter Tait wishing you well.
Magic 828, the big easy. We'll have updates on the weather, traffic and travel, and more great hits as we head our way through to Andy Siddell.
Peter Tait, good music and you.